and welcome our blood viewers to RTD's News English edition. As usual, we bring our major and top highlights with the following. The President attends the biennial summit for sustainable global economy and meets with BAD President. And on to national scene, Israel massacre in Al Zawida, worsening of displacement crisis. Those were the major and top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. At the biennial summit for a sustainable, inclusive, and resilient global economy, the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, issued a vigorous and unequivocal call for a bold overhaul of the international financial architecture, describing it as unjust and frozen in a bygone past. On the sidelines of the UN General Assembly's 18th session, the head of state also held talks with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at UN headquarters in New York. Later in the evening, President Guelleh attended a banquet hosted by US President Donald Trump in honor of all heads of state and government attending the session. And of course, speaking before the United Nations General Assembly, the Djiboutian head of state denounced a global financial system born 80 years ago in Bretton Woods, in a world where the countries of the South were neither represented nor heard, a system which still marginalizes the global South despite it representing more than 80% of the world population. Let's now listen to His Excellency.
Madame la Présidente de l'Assemblée Générale, Monsieur le Secrétaire Général, Excellences, Mesdames et Messieurs, le monde change, mais notre système financier mondial, lui, reste figé dans un passé révolu.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is changing, but our global financial system remains static, anchored in a past that has long gone. A system born in 80 years ago, in a world where the global South had neither representation nor a voice. And still today, while the Global South represents more than 85% of the world's population, its voice remains marginalized. The numbers are clear and alarming. The annual shortfall to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals exceed $4.2 trillion. The cost of capital in developing countries can be 3 to 4 times higher than in the North. This is an issue of systemic injustice and a divide that threatens our shared aspirations. Article 48 of the Pact for the Future cannot be reduced to a mere declaration of intent. It is the result of difficult and intense negotiations among member states, in which Djibouti played an active role. This article represents a historic turning point in the collective will to rebuild the international financial architecture. Djibouti has fully engaged in this process, firmly defending the necessity of granting developing countries a genuine, strong, and effective voice in global decision-making. This article constitutes a foundation upon which great ambition can be built. Failure to honor its essential provisions will amount to an unacceptable moral and political failure. Djibouti therefore firmly calls for the full implementation of Article 48 and the entire Pact for the Future, which was crafted with due regard for the positions and concerns of all member states. The era of partial solutions is over. The time has come to turn commitment into concrete actions. Accordingly, Djibouti calls for a bold reset of global economic governance.
The President on the sidelines of the biennial summit for sustainable, inclusive, and resilient global economy, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, received yesterday at his residence the President of the African Development Bank Group, Mr. Sidi Ould Tah. On this occasion, Mr. Sidi reiterated his gratitude to the head of state for the support he provided during his election last May as the 9th President of the Pan-African Multilateral Institution. Several points were discussed during the meeting, particularly the launch of a stronger cooperation between the two parties in various fields of development. Special focus was given to the role of the AFDB could play in supporting Djibouti's ambition to fully capitalize on its economic assets beyond its port and logistics sector. Job creation, renewable energies, and the development of science and technology have now been identified as a priority areas of cooperation between Djibouti and the African Development Bank. The President of the African Development Bank expressed his profound gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Djibouti for his unwavering and decisive support during the recent implementation and wished the convoy during the meeting as it reflects the collective recognition of the entire bank toward Djibouti's steadfast commitment. This morning, the Prime Minister and acting head of government, Mr. Abdul Ghadir Kamil Mohammed, chaired a coordination meeting with the Minister of the Interior, the Minister of Urban Affairs, the Ministry of Budget, the Djiboutian Roads Agency, the Djiboutian Roads Authority, and the National Water Office of Djibouti, among others. The aim was to mobilize a rapid and coordinated response to clean and restore the main arteries of the capital following recent heavy rains. At the conclusion of discussions, an operation roadmap was agreed upon: street cleaning and sanitation, clearing drains and unblocking key outlets, Avenue Nasser, the so-called Casino area, Sad Flat sectors. Targeted pumping of flooded zones by firefighters and ONYAD with evocation toward identified canals and secured areas around schools, restoring road traffic, filling potholes and repairing rain damage under the supervision of ADR and OVD, public discipline enforcement, awareness campaigns, and finance for illegal damages and wastewater discharge, with road inspectors under the prefecture granted authority to monitor and sanction. Public order, extended police patrols and swift arrests of offenders without undermining the priority mission of public security. Protection of drainage channels and state property, removal of illegal occupations obstructing water flow. Djibouti is taking a new step in its fight against climate change. On Thursday, the Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, signed the official agreement launching the Strengthening Resilience Within the Great Green Wall Framework in Africa project. This program, funded by the Green Climate Fund, is part of the Great Green Wall Initiative, a pan-African effort to restore 100 million hectares of degraded land and scatter 250 million tons of carbon by 2030. 8 countries are involved, including Burkina Faso, Djibouti, Mali, Mauritania, Nigeria, Senegal, and Chad. Planned to last 10 years, this project, with a budget of $10 million Djiboutian dollars, aims to, beyond ecological restoration, it seeks to serve as a lever for sustainable development for local communities, strengthening the resilience to the effects of climate change. Already active on several fronts in protecting natural resources and promoting sustainable solutions, the Ministry of Environment and Durable Development is consolidating its role as a driving force in the country's ecological transition. The Minister of Environment stated that with this launch of the project, Djibouti is taking a decisive step in this fight against climate change. He emphasized that the initiative supported by the Green Climate Fund and implemented with the FAO goes beyond restoring ecosystems to create real opportunities for local communities. The Embassy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Djibouti organized an official reception last night at the Kempinski Palace Hotel on the occasion of the Kingdom's 95th National Day. The ceremony was attended by many high-ranking personalities, including Mr. Mumin Hassan Bari, Minister of Muslim Affairs and Regional Endowments, representing the government, and Mr. Delita Mohammed Delita, President of the National Assembly, alongside several ministers, civil and military officials, as well as representatives from the business community and non-governmental organizations. Guests were warmly welcomed by Matarik Abdullah Matarik Al-Doseri, Ambassador of the Custodian of the 2 Holy Mosques to the Republic of Djibouti, together with his staff. The commemoration of this 95th anniversary also highlighted the kingdom's major achievements under Vision 2030, an ambitious strategy that has brought notable progress in the economic and social spheres, while consolidating Saudi Arabia's role as a leading regional and international actor. Each year, the anniversary embodies a moment of national pride for the Saudi people, who celebrate the historic legacy of King Abdulaziz Al Saud, founder of the kingdom, and renew their deep attachment to the nation's unity and history. Relations between Djibouti and Saudi Arabia are a model of fraternity and fruitful cooperation at all levels, supported by President Ismail Omar Guelleh and the custodian of the 2 Holy Mosques. Finally, it's worth noting that the kingdom has become one of the world's leading economies, influencing global security and stability thanks to its strategic position, spiritual weight, and economic importance. Large-scale operations against road-related violations by the National Police are ongoing. Authorities have noted that the headlights on some vehicles do not comply with traffic code regulations, severely impairing the visibility of incoming drivers. In addition, the increasing number of non-compliant license plates was also raised during a press briefing given by the National Police. The institution has given motorists a one-week deadline to comply with the traffic code provisions. For further details, let's listen to the remarks of Commander Abdulrazak Adam Musa, Head of Road Safety. As part of the ongoing fight against smuggling, the Ali Sibih Customs Brigade, led by Mr. Muhammad Mu'min Hassan, carried out a joint cooperation in close collaboration with police officers stationed in the region in the army. The operation took place in mountainous area near the border. Thanks to the vigilance and coordination of the different security forces, agents intercepted and seized several contraband goods. The confiscated items included 8 cartons of Royal Brand cigarettes, 1 carton of Benson cigarettes, 50 packets of comestic creams, 1 carton of expired syrup, 10 packets of illegally introduced medicines. This operation marks another success in efforts by local authorities to dismantle smuggling networks that threaten public health, the national economy, and citizen security. According to the brigade chief, Mr. Muhammad Mu'min Hassan, this seizure demonstrates the effectiveness of cooperation between the various security forces in the region. At Lake Navasha in Kenya, where water hanging is shocking the shores and threatening aquatic life, an unexpected success story has emerged. More details with Aisha.
A young Kenyan turns a harmful plant into a green solution. In Lake Naivasha, Kenya, a plant called water hyacinth is causing big problems. It blocks sunlight, kills fish, and makes fishing and transport difficult. It also helps mosquitoes spread malaria, but Joseph Ngetiro, a young engineer, had an idea. Instead of fighting the plant, he decided to use it. He created a company called Hayapak. His team uses water hyacinth to make biodegradable products that are safe for the environment. One of their main products is a special planting bag. You can plant a tree with it, and the bag gives nutrients to the soil as it breaks down. It helps the tree grow better, said Joseph. Thanks to this idea, Joseph won the Young Champion of the Earth 2025 award from the United Nations.
Early Thursday morning, Israeli occupation forces carried out a massacre against civilians in the Azaweda region and continued bombing neighborhoods in Gaza as part of their plan to destroy the city and displace its inhabitants. Aisha again with the details.
Israeli forces carried out today a deadly airstrike in the town of Al-Zawayda in central Gaza. According to local medical sources, 15 people were killed when a house belonging to the Abu Dahrouj family was hit. Footage from the scene showed a major destruction, with bodies being taken away by ambulance and residents searching through the rubble. The area of Al-Zawaydi had until now seen fewer strikes compared to other parts of Gaza. But the attack comes amid continued Israeli bombardment across the Gaza Strip, including in the Nusayrat and Al-Burij refugee camps, also in the center. In the south, 4 more people were killed when an airstrike hit a house west of Khan Younis, according to the Nasser Medical Complex.
Italy has dispatched a frigate to assist the humanitarian flotilla heading for Gaza.
Deployed a naval frigate to assist a humanitarian convoy heading to Gaza after reports that the flotilla came under drone fire. The convoy carrying food and essential medical supplies for the people of Gaza was on its way from Greece when the incident occurred. Journalists on board say drones targeted the vessels, but no casualties have been reported. On Wednesday, Italy's Defense Minister Guido Crosetto condemned the attack on the convoy named Global Summit and announced the deployment of a warship to the area to protect the mission. Meanwhile, Israel's foreign ministry posted on social media platform X saying it will take necessary measures to stop the convoy if it refuses to offload the aid in an Israeli port.
Well, these are viewers. We finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more. Have a wonderful evening and take care. Thank you.